Welcome to this week's masterclass, team. We are looking into binge eating today, okay? Now, I appreciate this can be a delicate topic for some people, so bear with me on this, and I'm just going to explain why the cycle of binge eating can occur and how we can kind of get our heads around it, okay? And why a stricter Monday just makes it worse. So this is probably the week that if you have struggled with binge eating before, and I know this personally, I have as well, okay? Then this is probably the week that you have done on repeat for a long time. Monday, you start with a clean slate, right? All the rules are set in place, fantastic start to the week, loads of energy, perfect kind of calorie requirements. You're really restricting stuff. You know, you're going to be restricting all chocolate, bread, wine, all that stuff. You get to midweek, you're a bit hungry, you're a bit snappy with the kids maybe, or your partner, you're white knuckling it a little bit through every meal, but you're still on plan, the plan that you had initially. Gets to Friday night, and then you think, sod it. And then it's the full packet of biscuits, it's the cheese, it's raiding the fridge freezer, all of this stuff, right? Then Saturday, you feel the shame, you know, you promise you'll try harder next week, you feel upset with yourself because you did it. And then that just happens week after week, okay? And it's a cycle that a lot of people have been through. So if you've been through that, don't feel like you're alone, because we're going to get to the bottom of this in today's masterclass, okay? And it's really important we just focus on what's causing it first and foremost. So this is generally the lie that people tell yourselves after you've had a bit of a binge, a bit of a moment of just eating foods that you've been thinking about constantly. People tell themselves they've got no willpower, something's wrong with me, I'm disgusting, all these types of things goes through your head, right? And again, I can speak from experience with this, yeah? So what you do is you punish yourself with an even stricter plan the following week. Less food, more rules, a tighter Monday, right? And the cycle just resets. It's absolutely identical, happens week after week on schedule like clockwork. So if any of this resonates, I hear you, and let's get to the bottom of this, okay? So the truth about that cycle, now restriction and binging are not opposites, they're one whole system. So the restriction tightens, okay, it's a bit like a spring, a coiled spring, right? The restriction tightens on the Monday, the tension builds throughout the course of the week. So that spring is just getting tighter and tighter. On the Friday, that spring is released. And then the Saturday, the guilt happens, and then the reset is set in place. So on Monday, the restriction tightens, the tension builds. On the Friday, the spring is released, back to the guilt, okay? Every day of being good pulls that spring a little bit tighter. And Friday night is simply the release, you know, and you're not failing. I've got to say this, it's not a failure. It's just physics. You're not giving yourself the best chance you possibly can. So you're not broken by any stretch of the imagination. You've just been running an experiment that fails on repeat every single time. You restrict harder, you snap harder, you feel worse, you rinse and repeat, okay? The experiment and the system is the problem, not you. You are never the variable that needs fixing in this, it's your system. And that's where coaching comes in and having something in place to guide you through this. So what we need to look at is the deeper why, first and foremost, okay? Now, for many people, the Friday kind of blowout, as I put here, is the only moment of the week that belongs to you, right? The kids don't need their lunch boxes prepped for the next day. You know, you can actually have some time. There's no emails to answer for the next day. There's literally nobody really needs you at that time of night. So what's happening is that's the release, and the release is normally food. Is the fastest way to get that comfort feeling, that good feeling, that dopamine hit, right? So food isn't really the point here, it's the release. And if we can try and get around the release, then that's a much better way of looking at things, rather than thinking you need to restrict again and again and again. So the first fix I'm going to say here now is to feed yourself enough. Feed yourself all week, all right? Get enough calories in. It's in a slight deficit, not a punishing deficit. What people generally do is they go on a crash diet. This is why crash diets don't work, because people end up having loads of food noise and they end up binging at the end of the week. Crash diets don't work. If you have a sensible calorie deficit, you can do that long term and get in great shape and have a good relationship with food, right? We don't want a punishing deficit. We want enough to function well, to focus, to train hard, to actually feel like an energetic human being. Protein with every meal keeps your hunger stable, fewer blood sugar crashes, and is going to be far less white knuckling it by Thursday because you feel more satiated. And then no skipping meals as well. People feel that skipping meals is a good thing. It's not. Regular meals signal safety to the body, right? A body that's fed and a brain that's fed as well, because the brain needs to be fed too, has no kind of spring wound up waiting for Friday's release, okay? So the first fix is feed yourself all week. The second one, and I've spoken about this before, is unban everything, all right? Forbidden foods, they're loud. They scream at you. The more off-limits something is, the more mental space that occupies. So the more you kind of restrict something, the more you're going to want it. It's like the pink elephant analogy. If I tell you not to think about a pink elephant, you'll think about pink elephants, right? You can have chocolate and it fits into your week every single day, and you don't have to cut it out completely, right? I have chocolate most days and it works wonders because I don't end up restricting. I don't end up binging because I allow it and I fit it into my calories. And you can do that as well, okay? We don't want to ban foods. We want to take away that terrible relationship most people have with foods they consider naughty or bad or forbidden, right? Give yourself permission to have it within your calorie targets. Answer the real need. This is a big one, okay? So before next Friday, I want you to ask yourself honestly, what was that binge actually giving you? What did it give you? If it was rest, then you want to schedule in some guilt-free downtime. Get some downtime in before that pressure builds later on. If it's an escape you're looking for, it could be a walk, could be a bath, could be a TV show. And if it's solitude you were looking for, just try and have 20 minutes to yourself, if that's what the food was doing, right? Now, if it is bigger than just habits, if this is a real issue and you're struggling a lot and you've been trying really hard and you appreciate everything I've said here, sometimes the cycle does run a bit deeper, okay? And if it feels out of your control, maybe it's compulsive, it's distressing, it's happening regardless of what you try, that does matter. And talking to a GP or a qualified professional with nutrition is a good way to go around this, okay? It's not failure. It's not a last resort. It's actually a strong move you can do if it's a real struggle. There's no shame ever with any of this. Asking for help is a superpower, right? It really, really is. So the takeaway from all of this, right? You cannot shame your way out of a cycle that shame is fueling. Remember that. You can shame your way out of a cycle that shame is fueling. Stop building the spring. So ditch the punishing Monday reset. Consistency over restriction every single time. Feed yourself properly and unban the foods you've banned and you've forbidden, okay? A nourished body is a healthy body and a healthy brain, okay? An undeprived body has no reason to binge whatsoever. And then meet the real need. So what was the need? What was that food giving you sort of comfort with? Was it a rest you were looking for? Was it a relief? Was it solitude? Check without yourself with intention, okay? Before you reach for the food. Do all three of these, and Friday, that binge on a Friday will start to lose its grip, all right? So if you've got any questions about this at all, drop me a message. I appreciate, like I said at the start, it's a pretty powerful topic, but also it can be quite a hard-hitting topic. So if you do need help with this, drop me a message. If you need to speak to your GP as well, there's no shame in that at all, okay? Let's get to the bottom of this, and let's really help you improve your relationship with food moving forward. Have a good one, guys, and I'll speak to you all really soon.